Flight 604 was supposed to be a routine journey. Clear skies, experienced pilots, and a fully functional aircraft. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious. But minutes after takeoff, something inside the cockpit began to feel wrong. The controls were moving. The systems were responding. Yet the pilots would later claim they were no longer in control. So the question remains, airplane who was really flying Flight 604? A human, a machine, or something never meant to take command? Flight 604 lifted off smoothly into the night sky, runway lights fading beneath it. The takeoff was perfect, exactly as planned. Inside the cockpit, both pilots were calm and confident. The flight plan was clear, weather conditions were stable, and the autopilot was set to cruising altitude. Passengers relaxed in their seats, unaware that anything was wrong. Air traffic control received the last routine transmission. Flight 604 maintained cruising altitude. Everything looked normal, but within moments, this ordinary flight would turn into a mystery that still raises terrifying questions today. Airplane New Moon. Just minutes after reaching cruising altitude, something unexpected happened. Flight 604 began to slowly change its heading. Not sharply, not violently, but enough to alarm the cockpit. The pilots checked the instruments. No turbulence. No weather alerts. No command had been given. One of the pilots tried to correct the course manually. The control wheel moved, but the aircraft did not respond the way it should have. At the same time, warning lights flickered briefly on the autopilot panel. System logs later showed inputs that were never explained. Air traffic control noticed the deviation and called in. Flight 604, confirm your heading. There was a pause, then a tense reply. Stand by. Inside the cockpit, confusion was turning into fear. Because for the first time, the pilots realized something chilling. They were fighting for control, and they were losing. Airplane warning. As the pilots struggled to regain control, the cockpit filled with tension. Manual inputs were being made, altitude corrections, heading adjustments, yet the aircraft responded with delay or not at all. The autopilot indicator remained on. One pilot attempted to disengage it. The switch was flipped, but the system re-engaged itself seconds later. Flight data later revealed something disturbing. Both manual control commands and automated inputs were happening at the same time. Two forces, one aircraft. The cockpit voice recorder captured raised voices, rapid breathing, and a chilling realization. The pilots were no longer fully in command. This was no longer a simple malfunction. It felt like a silent battle between human instinct and machine logic. And the machine was winning. Airplane departure gear. Without warning, Flight 604 began to lose altitude. Not suddenly, not violently, but in a slow, controlled descent, the kind that suggested intent, not failure. The pilots pulled back on the controls, trying to stop it. Engine power increased. Alarms echoed through the cockpit. Yet the aircraft continued downward. Air traffic control urgently called out, asking for confirmation, asking for status. This time, there was no immediate response. Radar data later showed Flight 604 descending in a steady, calculated path, as if following a hidden command. Not chaos, not panic. In the cockpit, the last clear words were recorded, strained, uncertain, almost defeated. Then silence. Whatever had taken control of Flight 604 had made its decision, and there was nothing the pilots could do to stop it. New Moon airplane. When Flight 604 finally landed, or so the official reports say, investigators were puzzled. Data logs were incomplete. Cockpit recordings were partially missing, and several critical documents were sealed from public view. Official statements blamed technical malfunction and pilot error. But aviation experts and conspiracy theorists noticed discrepancies. Autopilot inputs that no pilot could explain. Flight paths that seemed deliberately altered. Systems that appeared to override human control. Some believe Flight 604 was a test case. A moment when automation, or something far more sinister, proved that humans were not always in command. The real question remains unanswered. Was this a failure? Or was it proof that Flight 604 was never truly flown by anyone, at least anyone we know? Flight 604 stands as one of aviation's most unsettling mysteries. A plane that took off under human control, but may have landed under forces no one could explain. Was it pilot error, a system malfunction, or was something far darker? The truth is hidden in missing logs, sealed reports, and questions that may never be answered. One thing is certain. In an age where machines guide our flights, the line between human control and something else is thinner than we think. Next time you board a plane, remember, the cockpit may not always be in human hands. New Moon Airplane.